Welcome back to the Supremely Black Podcast. This is your boy D Rose. I'm just gonna go ahead and get right into it, man. I appreciate to my people that actually hit me up and was like, speak on this situation and tied into the community. So what we're going to be talking about today is the FBG duck case has now been, I guess there was a crack within the case of stating the individuals, the 5 individuals that were involved in his murder, right? So they have a RICO case that have picked up 5 members, right? And so the reason why my people have hit this up, because I've been known to speak about how the influence of rap music has actually started to take a real toll in our culture, that no longer can you just say that Chicago is the place where things are going on, right? And so when you look at this from this particular perspective, there's just 3 things that happen in this case that I think have been lost in transition from previous generations and now. It's 3 things that I was taught growing up: loose lips sink ships, beef is just bad for business, and gangsters move in silence. And I start with the third one: gangsters move in silence. There has been uptick or just a complete sweep of rappers actually getting on the main stage, making videos, taunting each other, going back and forth, saying exactly of what they did to this particular person, this group of people, and the words they use is ops, I'm spinning this block, I'm doing things of that nature, right? So if gangsters are moving in silence, that's not the way you're going to be going about it, right? So I just hope that this is a message and things that people that are either you're a younger rapper or the youth that may be listening to this or listening to the rap music, or you're an inspiring actor, when you're actually speaking about things that you're actually doing within your community, it's no longer entertainment. The feds are listening. If there's ever a case that's going to connect you all to a murder or any illegal activities, this is the RICO that they can put into place that will have them snatching up every single homeboy that you've mentioned in a rap. So when you get to saying D Rose did X, Y, and Z on this block, please understand that these people are listening to this and they're going to use that to their advantage. There's no longer they're being entertained and they're going to be dancing in the club. They're going to be in the room looking exactly at who's the photo. Let's look at their Instagram. Let's look at all their social media and see exactly how they're going about doing these particular things. So it's very important that not only did I preach that we get away from even doing it, but if you're going to be doing it, quit using the names, because you're going to put yourself in a predicament to where they can target exactly of who they're looking for and where they're looking for them at. And you just make their job so much easier to say, this is where I know exactly where to find this particular individual at. It's not anybody snitching. You told on yourself, right? Second thing that I was always told by my OGs, right? Gangsters move in silence is key, but beef is just bad for business. So when you think about this as an aspiring rapper and other people that could be wanting to get into this entertainment industry, when you really have allies or ops that are from another side of town or a different state or, a different city, you stop your bread. So really there is no win. There's the only monetary gain that you really get from that, honestly, is internet clout. And if that's what you're here for, then that's not going to feed your family. If you got kids, clout isn't going to be putting Pampers on your baby. It's not going to be bringing milk in the house, right? If you can't do shows, you can't do deals, and people are getting you blackballed within the industry because they may actually have ties to these individuals and want to do X, Y, and Z with you, they just can't, because at this particular point, you're no longer an asset, you're a liability. So you've now cut off all of the monetary gain that you could have got out of being a rapper that's great at storytelling and not actually telling real life events that's actually going on. You've lost all of that. And then now they're putting their credibility on the line, because if you're really living like that and putting yourself in the spotlight and telling all of your business per se that was supposed to be gangster, I can't work with you, because one, the industry doesn't want me to. And then secondly, your street beef is going to cause me to where I can't even travel the same way. And then thirdly, the feds are all over us and we could just really be doing entertainment. And who's to say all my homeboys might not be cleaning it around with me, but I'm just trying to get them up out of the hood, right? It's a lose-lose situation in that particular case. So those are the things that you just have to be mindful of as you're doing it. This is an ultimate lesson, and it had to take for several rappers to be impacted with this particular thing. You do not win with that. Loose lips sink ships. And so what I mean by that particular instance is that, to sum all of this up, when you get into the space to where you are now going about doing particular things and you're speaking about actual events that have happened, you run into the issue or run into the case to where now you've put you and your friends and family members at risk. And by at risk, I mean, if it wasn't for rap music, we would not know what was really going on in these particular states. And in this instance, we're using the FBG Duck case. There's no way they could have tied King Von to it. There's no way they could have grabbed and said Lil Durk had something to do with this. And there's no way they would have known about their actual crew unless you were in the city. But once this thing goes viral and everybody's doing it for the internet and you've put it in rap music, you did everything that you could possibly do to let the other side know what I've done. And by other side, I am not even giving a damn about speaking about ops. I am speaking specifically about the FBI, anybody that can actually hit you with a RICO charge. They can stop all the money, stop everything that you've actually built up to get you to this particular instance. And so those are the three things that I'm so glad that I was brought up on, is that loose lips sink ships. Real gangsters really do move in silence. And beef is just bad for business, because you, at the end of the day, at this particular instance, with everything is being on social media, there isn't a win for you there. It just isn't, right? So I would definitely love to see what's everybody's thoughts to that, is because we're moving in an era where rap music used to be storytelling that could have been uplifting to the black community or people of minorities. But now we've gotten to a place now to where it's one of the things that are being exploited at the most in its over-sexualization, and violence is at the number one of the charts. No matter where you turn to, no matter where you turn it on at, this is what you're going to hear. So when you think about that, it is dominating the airwaves. Everybody from my age and above can hear it and below can hear it. But when you think about the importance of it, how are you actually using it as a tool to remove yourself from a poverty-stricken environment, if that was the actual case? But then you also have to think that the very people that you're making the music for are, one, impacted by it, but also for the people that you're making music against. If you're talking about ops and sliding down blocks, there's an opposite side, which is the real ops. You have the alphabet boys that is listening to every beat, every melody, and they rocking in the club just like we would be doing in the car or in the club. And so you have to ask yourself, as an aspiring artist or a current artist, is this actually really worth it? Because it's not going to get any better. It's only going to keep spiraling out of control. So it's one, you either lose your life or you do the rest of it in jail. It's not worth it. So make sure that you hit that like button, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you drop your comments below, because I would love just to see some of you all's thoughts on everything that's transpired, especially with it being the alleged people that had something to do with FBG's Duck's murder actually being arrested, to see how that's actually going to turn out. But this is your boy D Rose again from the Supreme Black Podcast. I'm out. Salute.